Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. I had kind of debated what I wanted to be the first topic. I've got a special announcement, and I had thought about saving it to the very end of the video, but I got to do it. So I'd announced it was probably the first podcast after Christmas that we found out, Terry and I, that we are going to be grandparents again. Well, I just found out that Colton is going to have a baby brother. So it's very exciting. It's exciting and weird at the same time because I still don't feel like a grandpa. I don't feel old enough. So now, I'm going to be a double grandpa, I guess. In a way, I was kind of just, between us here, I was kind of hoping it would be a girl. I'm going to be really excited when eventually I've got a granddaughter that I can dote upon. But I think Colton's really excited. I think he's going to be a great big brother. So fun times coming. Now, the one sort of downside to all of this, and parents, I'm sure you will agree, there are few days that I think are happier for a parent or grandparent than when diapers are no longer required. So we're going to be back in the diaper business here pretty soon. I'll have to create a separate category in Quicken probably for them because man, oh man, a lot of money gets spent on diapers. There are going to be a couple of topics this week that are sort of follow-ups to previous topics, one of which is a topic from last week, which is YouTube Shorts. And I explained my reasons for not liking them. I don't think I used the word hate. If I did, I apologize, because I think that hate is a very strong word, generally reserved for Brussels sprouts and candy corn. Even then, I try not to use that word. And it seemed that most of you agreed with me on shorts in not liking them. After this past week, I have reflected on it a little bit, and there are some shorts that I do enjoy. Dad jokes are one of them. Animal videos, like kittens frolicking in the snow, that's kind of fun. And I will admit that whenever I see any sort of a woodworking short, I am glued to it, especially if there's a lathe involved. It's crack to me. I can't not watch it. I still question if cooking videos make sense in short form. I don't know. Maybe as a teaser, I'm really conflicted on shorts, if you can't tell. I recognize that it's something YouTube wants to do, and what I would like them to do, honestly, is make a separate app for shorts. Since shorts are generally vertical, I think they're all vertical, why not just make a YouTube Shorts app on the phone where people can just binge like crazy on shorts and not put them with the rest of the YouTube videos? That's one thought. Another thing that I heard about, and I have not researched this, but you could probably look for it on Google, I guess there is a plugin for Chrome, if you're using the Chrome browser, that will basically block shorts. You won't see them when you go into YouTube. I don't know if this is true or not, but if it's out there and you don't like shorts and you don't like them being suggested to you, that's a possibility. One thing that you can do, in fact, all of us can do it if you are accessing YouTube through a web browser, is in the upper right-hand corner, if you click on your little avatar picture or initials or whatever you have up in the upper right-hand corner, and down at the bottom of the little pop-up list that comes up is send feedback. So if you are just completely opposed to shorts, you can let YouTube know that. Or if you'd like to see them in a separate app, a standalone app, you can do that. One of the things that I would like to see in YouTube to really help, I talk about the community. Like we have a community here on Serious Keto. I think something that would help that is if they built a search function into the comments. So if you are on a video and you wanted to see, are people talking about a certain thing, a problem that they had, which brand of cottage cheese did they use in the cottage cheese chips, or whatever it is, to be able to search comments. Now they have a filter button, at least on the content creator side, so you can look for specific words, but I don't believe something like that exists for the user community, and I think it would be very helpful within comments. It's similar to how I know that Amazon has something like that, but they also then now have this little AI thing where it looks across all comments and says, you know, here's a common question, or here's things people like about this product or don't like about this product. I think it would be really neat if YouTube had a feature like that. But mainly, I wanted to make sure that you knew that you have a voice. You can send feedback to YouTube. I don't know if they're going to listen, but maybe if enough of us say the same things, they will. I'd also talked last week about my physical, and one of the things that I forgot to mention, because I got all into the whole statin conversation, was generally the lab work looked good, but my doctor said that I've got Tom Jones disease. I asked him if it was rare, and he said it's not unusual. So back to statins. There was a lot of robust conversation, we'll call it, down in the comments. And some people very much for statins, some people very much against statins, some people believe that LDL is not a big deal. In fact, LDL is good. Some people believe that LDL is bad. Some people believe that supplementation is good. Some people believe that supplementation is bad. And that's fine. Conversation is a good thing. And to add to that conversation, I would like to talk about a video that just recently came out. And I'm going to link to it down in the description below and probably even put it in the end card. It is a video by Dr. Nicholas Horowitz, PhD. In it, he did a little guinea pig study on himself, testing which is better at lowering LDL, statins or eating Oreos. And I don't want to spoil it for you, but I would encourage you to watch it. And my biggest takeaway from this video is LDL as a marker of health and overall well-being, I think is remarkably bad. It's not LDL is bad. I think using it as a measurement, specifically using it as a single data point, as doctors often do, to make therapy decisions is pointless, I think. I mean, it is a marker, yes, but it is a marker that is remarkably easily gamed. The fact that you can change it that quickly by doing something like eating Oreos or following Dave Feldman's protocol of really, really overeating, and I think it's pretty much all meat. A lot of fat, a lot of meat. I mean, basically high-fat carnivore, consuming, I think, 2 to 3 times your regular calories for a couple of days before having your lipid test will lower your LDL dramatically if you're a lean mass hyperresponder. And it's my hope, though perhaps a little bit naive, that this information gets more broadly known outside of our community, that doctors and cardiologists start seeing this and start realizing that there's got to be a better way to test people and their risk for stroke, heart attack, any sort of arterial disease, coronary arterial disease, than LDL. But like I said, check out that video. It's really interesting. Interestingly, just a day or two after watching this video, a quote from Carl Sagan showed up in my newsfeed here. I think this is from Facebook, my Facebook newsfeed. Here's the quote. "One of the saddest lessons of history is this. If we've been bamboozled long enough, we tend to reject any evidence of the bamboozle. We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozle has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken. Once you give a charlatan power over you, you will almost never get it back." And I think that's the sort of mentality that drives so many people's passionate but possibly misguided arguments on diet. Obviously, the whole anti-keto thing is a pretty big thing because we've been taught fat makes you fat and you're going to blow up your heart and your kidneys are going to fail from the protein and all of this stuff. And when people have these strongly held beliefs, there's a sort of cognitive dissonance that forms if they start hearing that they're wrong, and they will fight against that cognitive dissonance. There's a thing, what's it called? Confirmation bias. People will go out and look for more sources that confirm what they want to believe. So it's very hard to convince an anti-keto person that keto is good because they are going to go out in search of anti-keto stuff and they're going to tune us out. And that pretty much brings me back to a point that I had made in my interview with Dr. Ken Berry, when we had one of the viewers ask, how do you handle being keto when the rest of your family isn't? How do you handle being keto when friends and coworkers think that it's bad? And my response was, you try and be the best example that you can be of health. Don't be a zealot, don't be out preaching because that turns people off, but be a walking, living example of the benefits of a ketogenic lifestyle. I'm going to start the last half of this podcast with just a couple of little tips here. This is going to be sort of a short segment. First off, if you don't want comments deleted by YouTube, don't use the word rumble. I've definitely narrowed that down. I talked last week about seeing comments get deleted or seeing comments disappear. There was one that was written very eloquently and well thought out, and I was responding to it, but the person was talking about Rumble and some of the future features that are going to be in Rumble, and by the time I hit the send or reply button with my reply to this person, his comment was gone. So that leads me to believe that that is one of the words that YouTube definitely flags. So don't include that word if you want your comment to stay up. Tip number 2. Buying pork rinds on clearance, not the best idea. I'd purchased some on clearance at my grocery store. The price on it was great. But pork rinds do actually go rancid in the package and not yummy. So avoid pork rinds on clearance, or at the very least, check the best buy date. Another thing that I discovered is don't freeze bacon. Like, don't get your big packets of bacon at Sam's Club or Costco and think, well, I don't go through bacon fast enough. I should keep some in the freezer. Because even in a freezer, bacon eventually goes rancid. So my tip is buy the bacon you're going to eat and eat it. Don't freeze it. I want to close by talking about keto products and pricing. I'd actually done a video on this, a dedicated video, but I want to reiterate it, and I'll probably put that in the end card as well. There are a lot of keto products out there now, both internet, sort of small company startup products, as well as certain keto products that big food has gotten into. And I get a lot of comments about price and why do these things cost so much? There are a number of reasons, and I've talked about all of these, but a couple of things that really influence price. The price of the product is influenced by the price of the ingredients. Keto ingredients generally cost about 8 to 10 times what their non-keto counterparts are. Look at any keto flour, compare that to all-purpose flour. Look at any keto sweetener, compare that to sugar. So that's one of the reasons, and it's especially impactful on smaller companies, some of these internet companies that I do reviews for. Big food, they're going to have certain economies of scale, so they may be able to make slightly less expensive keto products. The thing is, they also make keto products that, in my opinion, are significantly less trustworthy. As I have seen in my countless tortilla and bread reviews, when big food starts slapping keto labels on things and 1 or 2 net carbs or even 0 net carbs per slice or per tortilla, I've found those to be not especially trustworthy, at least in terms of how they impact my blood glucose. Another thing that can really impact some of the smaller sellers is when they're selling stuff on Amazon. So I had one manufacturer tell me that Amazon takes 40% off the regular price. That's their cut. So if you have a product, and I'm going to use Aviate pasta just because it's $10 a bag and it's an easy number to do math on, a product like that, immediately Amazon takes their $4. So now we're down to $6. I offer a code that you can use at checkout to get another $2 off. So now you're down to $4 a bag in gross, not net profit, that's gross. And you need to pay for the bags, you need to pay for the ingredients, you need to pay for any advertising. There's not a lot of margin left there. Now, this explanation doesn't necessarily allow it to fit into your budget. It still may be something that's out of your budget. But at least I want people to understand what goes into the pricing before they start typing in all caps, "too expensive," and then like 6 exclamation points, which is usually what people do. We're kind of stuck. We've got choices in the keto world. We can either pay more and support a small business, pay a little bit less and buy what may be an illegitimate keto product. It's not real. It's just got a keto label on it, and we're continuing to support big food. Or we make our own. And I try and be empathetic to the fact that not everybody has the time or skill or desire to make all of their own food. So I just wanted to make sure that I covered that topic once again. I'll probably revisit it from time to time because it does seem to be an issue that comes up an awful lot in the comments, and I want to help people understand it a little bit better. That, however, is the extent of my list of topics for today. Like I said, I will put a couple of videos over here. I'll put that Oreos versus statins video up here. And if you want to watch a longer format version of my rant on keto products and prices, I'll put that down below. As always, it's been great spending a little bit of time with you. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.